Aaron, 50 and 51 for Aaron Judge. Just what could it mean to have him locked in at the most important time of the year?
Yeah, it'd be huge. I feel like really the last couple of weeks he's really started to swing the bat really well again, and having just really good at bats night in and night out, at bat after at bat. Obviously he gets pitched to so carefully. So big tone setter for us tonight. A big 3-run homer to after we fell behind there, and then took it from there. But another great evening for the captain.
A week ago, you guys were 5 games behind the Blue Jays in the standings. You went 6-1 since. You've tied them now with their loss to Boston. Just how do you wrap your head around how quickly things have changed here in the division picture?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy, all across Major League Baseball, right? It's been a crazy 10 days, 2 weeks, and I think we all expected it to be that way this final week. So, but for us, it's about handling our business. It really is. I mean, obviously we got ourselves into the postseason last night. Guys came out, and Max leading the way today, and a chance to win another one tomorrow, and that's as far as we go with it.
19 wins for Max Fried on the season. Just looking at it, his season, regular season as a whole, what stands out to you the most?
Yeah, man, just everything you'd want from a guy at the top of your rotation. Like, we couldn't have asked for more. He's just such a pro, so talented, such a great teammate, such an important part now of our pitching culture here, and navigated the season so well. Obviously got off to such a good start for us. Hit a bump in the road there for about a month, 3, 4, 5 week stretch, whatever it was. Made some adjustments and finished with a flurry. And to throw 19 wins out there, that's pretty impressive. An ERA under 3. I think most innings he's ever thrown. He was a horse for us, an ace, and now looking forward to giving the ball in October.
Andy.
Did you ever wonder during his little dip if he was running out of gas for the year, or did you see something that told you no, he could tweak something and this will be all right?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a fatigue issue. I mean, there's always starts where maybe you're a little fatigued or whatever, but I never sensed it was that. I thought it was some just execution. Putting himself, getting away from his entire arsenal a little bit, just a little off. It's a tough game, even for the great ones. So, I think he's made some really good adjustments and really got back on track here this final month and a half or whatever it's been now. But what an impressive, first regular season in pinstripes for Max.
Ron.
With Aaron making the strong throw on Montgomery in the second, how much is arm strength having been regained after that layoff, and how much is just confidence to let loose?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. Just further removed, from the injury, but still getting there and still work in progress with it. And that was by far the most he's let one go. So hopefully that's a good sign continuing as we move forward.
Gary.
Just as it came up pregame, what did you think of Ben?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Just because it came up pregame, what did you think of Ben with Max?
Oh, I thought it was really good. I haven't flushed out the outing with Ben and Max yet, but I'll hit them both with it. Seemed to go really well. On a night when, that's a testament right there how good Max is. 7 innings, 1 run. What do you have? 6, 7 punch outs, whatever it was. I thought it was a little bit of a grind for him tonight. A little under the weather this week, and I thought he kind of battled through it tonight. Didn't have his great command early, and then kind of settled in, got in a pretty good rhythm. But it seemed to, the battery seemed to be pretty strong tonight. Is my just, watching from my spot, but I'll get with both of them and see how we all feel about it.
Dave. Aaron, I think the MVP chants for Judge usually start in April around here, but just, I know where your vote comes down on it, but just from what he does aside from the fact just on the field, it seems like everybody on the team is really looks up to him as kind of the guiding light for them and is really kind of the force in that regard too.
Yeah, he takes that role very seriously as captain. He's just so revered, and just it leads a really strong culture in there. Those guys are tight, because it starts with him, and he makes it a point to make sure everyone is heard, seen, a part of it. He takes that label, that mantle, that responsibility very seriously, and it's one of those things that helps us navigate the long, tough season. The good times and the rough times is the way he goes about it and who he is, and so yeah, he's the total package.
Max.
Aaron, what has Fried's season meant in the context of losing Garrett in spring training, having Clark miss time now, and obviously Luis in spring training?
Yeah, no question. Obviously, Garrett's been such a horse, and obviously our ace now for so long, and his excellence at the top. When that goes away in the middle of spring training, that's a real void. And how are you going to make that up? And Max has come in and been an ace and been a horse and been that guy you want at the top of the rotation, and you factor in what Carlos has done alongside him. Those two guys pitching the way they have softened that blow of, obviously you can never replace a Garrett, but it's at least helped soften the blow and allowed us to still flourish without our ace.
Max, hopefully a lot more baseball to be played this season, but Aaron Boone described your regular season, first year in pinstripes, as you being the workhorse ace of the staff. How would you describe your first regular season in pinstripes?
Not finished yet. It's been very apparent that the goal of this team is to go to the playoffs, get deep in the playoffs, and win the World Series. So, I like to put a lot of team goals in front of how I individually do. So, if we come out and go deep into the playoffs and win a World Series, then I'll say it's pretty successful. But we got a long way to go.
Speaking of team, a week ago you guys were 5 games back from the Blue Jays. You're tied now. You guys have gone 6-1 since. Just what does it mean to this team to be in that position?
Just finishing strong. Worried about what we can, what we can take care of, which is winning today's game, and able to do that and roll that into tomorrow and make sure we try to win the game tomorrow and just try to finish strong.
When did you start to, or was there a game when you started to feel like whatever you were working through for a little bit there sort of gotten back into place a little bit? I guess Boston in late August you started pitching well again.
Yeah.
For you, your own perception, when was it?
Yeah, I would say the Boston start. Just fell back to myself, mixing pitches, trying to make pitches, and everything started to fall in line a little bit better then.
Is there a way to summarize what it was you were working on the clip without giving too much away?
Just looking back at video of who I've been over the last couple of years and just trying to be more of that. Felt like I fell into maybe too many patterns, and that's not who I am.
How do you feel physically now heading into the postseason?
Feel good, ready to go.
Max, what is your biggest takeaway from watching Aaron Judge night in, night out?
The consistency is incredible. Everyone goes up. Every game that he plays, everyone's giving their best stuff to him every single day. And the consistency, discipline that he's able to have, not taking an at-bat off, and making sure that he's doing everything that he can. His ability to lock in like that's extremely impressive.
Garrett goes down.
I'm sorry?
When Cole goes down in spring training, probably kind of came envisioning being, kind of a co-ace or having this great top of the rotation, but then put more attention on you or maybe pressure. How did you, when you know he was down for the year, how did that change things for you?
Not too much. Didn't change too much for me. I don't throw on the same day as Garrett, so if he were to throw, we would be throwing on different days, and I still have to take care of my business. So as a team, we definitely would love to have Garrett Cole because he's one of the best pitchers in the world. But as far as how it affected me individually, still same standard, same motivation, everything like that.
What did you think about working with Rice today?
With working with Ben,
Yeah.
it was great. Great to finally work together. He's been working really hard, especially the transition of playing a lot of first base and then catching sporadically and then getting more starts. And you see how hard he's worked, and it was really good to be able to work together and get the feel of a game flow and have him catch me in a game. So if something happens where we need to pair up in the playoffs, we have some familiarity.
How does your routine change depending on whether you have 5 days off or 9 days off?
Just got to get ready. It's nothing too crazy. Kind of wait and see. I'll be ready for whenever it is. Planning for, I think, I haven't even looked at because I was just focused on this one. So whether it's the wild card or the division series, I'll just make sure that I plan it out accordingly.
An extra bullpen or an extra live?
I have no idea yet. I've just been trying to focus on this one and worried about the playoffs. I'll start worrying about it the next couple days.
Not all at once. First place tie. What are your thoughts about 4 games left to overtake them?
Just keep playing our game. We try not to focus on, checking the standings, checking the records, anything like that. If we just take care of what we do, we'll be where we want to be. Our goal is, once you start the season, ultimately is go out there and win a World Series, get back there. But it starts by winning your division. So, that's our goal. We just got to keep moving forward.
What does 50 home runs mean to you?
I was happy to get that 3-run. I get the 3 runs for Max. I know he gave up the 1 early, but just anytime you give him a couple runs, then you just kind of see him going autopilot, and he was in cruise control. So it felt good to get in the win, and just kind of keep our momentum going.
One of 3 other guys have 4 50 home run seasons. Do you ever take a minute to just appreciate the company you join along the way?
I can't. If you sit back and admire it, then you're gonna stop your momentum. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Hopefully I have a long career here, and we do some special things that we can talk about at the end.
What has Fried meant to this team this year?
Wow, he's been an ace. I heard a lot of great stories when he was with Atlanta. Just talking to a lot of those guys over there, what he meant. We saw what he could do on the field, but I think just his clubhouse presence. He's a guy that came over here. You're going to the New York Yankees clubhouse. It can be a little intimidating, but he's a guy that, from the very first day, we talked, and he's always, hey, I just want to help out. I want to help this team win and get us back to where we belong. And, seeing that out of a guy that's had such a great career, it was pretty amazing. And just seeing the work he's done with a lot of our younger guys, either talking about game planning, pitching. It's almost like having another Garrett. Garrett's the same way, where he's trying to help everybody out in this room. And you got a couple guys like that in the same room, especially with our great young pitchers we got. It's pretty special, so I can't speak enough about what Max has meant.
Did you remember you hit 50 and 51 together last year also?
I didn't. But that's pretty cool. That's good to know. It's just great at bat by McMahon right in front of Grish to get Grish up there, and he did his thing, and then I had to follow it up with something special after he does that.
The way that Fried changes speed so dramatically with him one at bat, even within his fastball during one at bat, up and down. What's the challenge as a hitter on that? It's pretty unique what he does, right? And how would you deal with that in the box?
I faced him once or twice. It's not a fun at bat. It's not comfortable. He's a guy that can run 96, 97 up on your hands with the cutter, work the sinker, work the changeup. He's got that big curveball you got to worry about. He's got kind of a funky delivery where he kind of slow the tempo with that leg lift. That's the name of the game, timing. You mess up a hitter's timing, they're going to be in shambles. And I've kind of seen him do that all year. Even when he doesn't feel like he has his best stuff, or when he does have his best stuff, he just finds a way to just keep guys off balance all night and let his defense work behind him. And it's impressive. It's a treat to get to watch that guy go and pitch every 5 days.
The strong throw in the second inning, how much of that is arm strength coming back from all the work he put in, and how much is just now maybe not being afraid to cut loose on it?
Yeah, it's feeling great. I've been telling you guys all year it's feeling good. So I gotta get back to accuracy a little bit, but that'll come. That'll come. I don't like airmailing balls like that, but no, I felt good.
What does it say about the character of the team that you guys can have an accomplishment like the one that you had last night and come back and be right after the next goal?
Yeah, it's one thing I said to the guys after the game. Just I looked at everybody, as they were walking through here throughout the day, and everybody just had a focused, determined look in their eye. They knew that, hey, we punched our ticket. We're in the postseason. We had an opportunity to go back to the World Series, but there's still a greater goal ahead of us in the last couple of games of trying to go out there and get the division. So the boys they knew even last night. We were celebrating, having some fun, but they know we're still got a mission ahead of us.
Looking at all three AL divisions, are you surprised how volatile all three have been in the last month?
It's unbelievable, but that's baseball. Especially with the expanded postseason, you're going to have some moments like this where teams are going back and forth. When I go home, turn on MLB Network, check all the scores, see what's happening. It's pretty amazing. It's just a lot of competitive teams out there doing their thing, and we'll see what happens here in the next 4 days.